Janitor walked onto the quiet movie set, heart pounding fiercely as he nervously clutched a crumpled photo of Clint Eastwood. The entire crew fell silent, eyes fixed on the small figure daring to approach the legendary actor. Everyone wondered, would Clint simply brush him off or worse? The janitor's voice trembled as he finally spoke. "Mr. Eastwood, could you please sign this?" For a moment, the air thickened with tension. Clint's piercing eyes locked onto the photo, then slowly shifted to the janitor. His voice, cold and cutting, broke the silence. "You want my autograph? You're fired." The words hit like a thunderclap. Shock and disbelief rippled through the crowd, jaws dropping. But then, something unexpected happened. Clint's harsh expression softened, his gaze turning almost reflective. He stepped closer, lowering his voice so only the janitor could hear. "Listen, sometimes it's not about the autograph or the fame. It's about the courage to ask, even when the risk is losing everything." The janitor's hands trembled, uncontrollably, but a spark of hope flickered in his eyes. Just as everyone thought this was the end, the janitor reached into his pocket and pulled out something no one saw coming, a secret that threatened to turn the whole story upside down. Imagine this. What if the person nobody notices, the one we dismiss every day, holds the key to the biggest truth hidden behind the glitter and glam? Would you have the guts to ask for what you want, knowing it could cost you everything? What will Clint do when faced with this unexpected twist? The answer will shock you far beyond your imagination. Do you think the janitor's move was brave or foolish? Clint's eyes darkened as he stared at the small object the janitor held, a worn, folded letter, yellowed with age and marked with a seal nobody recognized. The room grew colder, the air thick with unease. "Where did you get this?" Clint asked, his voice barely above a whisper, but every ear on set caught the words. The janitor swallowed hard, the weight of the moment pressing down on him. "It's from someone who knew the truth about this place and about you," he said, voice trembling. Suddenly, the powerful image of Clint Eastwood, the untouchable legend, started to crack, revealing something fragile beneath. No one expected the janitor to hold a secret that could topple reputations, shake the foundations of Hollywood, and rewrite history. Imagine if the man everyone thought powerless was actually the guardian of the darkest truths. Clint's jaw clenched as memories flashed across his eyes, a past he wanted buried. But now that past was coming alive again. What if everything Clint had built his career on was about to be destroyed? And here's the twist. Just as Clint seemed ready to react, a camera crew burst onto the set, announcing they'd captured everything on live feed, every word, every look. The janitor's secret was now public. How will Clint respond when the whole world is watching? Do you think this is the end for him, or just the beginning of a new battle? Would you stay silent, or fight back? Think about it. Sometimes the smallest spark can ignite the biggest fire. The set buzzed with whispers and flashing cameras as Clint Eastwood stood frozen, the weight of the janitor's secret pressing down like a storm ready to break. His usual calm shattered for a split second, a slow-motion moment where the world seemed to hold its breath. Then, with a voice steady but filled with hidden fury, Clint said, "This changes everything." Suddenly, the calm veteran actor transformed into a fierce warrior ready to protect what he thought was his legacy. But just when everyone thought Clint would lash out, he surprised them all by calling for silence. "We need to get ahead of this," he said, eyes scanning the crowd like a general planning his next strike. The janitor watched, heart pounding, unsure if he'd made an ally or an enemy. Then, without warning, Clint delivered a powerful mic-drop line. "I'm done letting secrets control me." The room erupted in shock and admiration, but the real shock was yet to come. A trusted crew member who had stood quietly by suddenly stepped forward, revealing they had their own hidden agenda and connection to the secret letter. Betrayal was no longer just a word, it had taken shape right in front of everyone. What if the people closest to Clint were working against him? The question hung heavy, twisting the story deeper into mystery. Would Clint be able to navigate this maze of lies, or was this the beginning of his downfall? And you? What would you do if your closest friend turned against you? The stakes just got higher, and the battle more personal than anyone imagined. Just as the tension reached its peak, the crew member's mask slipped, revealing a face Clint thought he knew well. The betrayal cut deeper than anyone expected. "You were supposed to have my back," Clint said, voice low but breaking with pain. The crew member smirked. Sometimes loyalty isn't enough when bigger games are being played. Suddenly, a hidden recording surfaced, exposing secret deals that tied Clint's legacy to powerful figures who thrived on deception. The janitor watched silently, his quiet courage now the spark that could ignite a revolution. Imagine if the very system Clint fought to protect was built on lies and the janitor held the key to tearing it down. But just when it seemed Clint was cornered, he stunned everyone by making a move no one saw coming. Instead of fighting back with anger, he chose to confront the truth head-on in a live interview that night. "I'm not the enemy here," he declared, voice steady and fierce. "The real battle is against the corruption hiding in plain sight." The world watched as Clint exposed secrets that shook the foundations of Hollywood and politics alike. But the biggest twist? The janitor's secret was only the tip of the iceberg. What if everything we thought was true was a lie? And here's a question for you. Who do you think is really pulling the strings behind the scenes? The night of the live interview arrived, and millions tuned in, hungry for answers. Clint sat under harsh lights, the weight of the world on his shoulders, but his eyes burned with determination. "For years," he said, "we've been lied to. The powers that be don't want you to know the truth." Suddenly, the screen flickered and a shocking video leaked live, showing the crew member making secret deals with corrupt officials, confirming Clint's accusations. The audience gasped. But the real shock came when the janitor stepped forward, revealing he wasn't just a janitor. He was a whistleblower with evidence that could bring down an entire corrupt network. Clint's voice cracked with emotion as he said, "This is bigger than any of us." Just then, the broadcast cut to black. The studio was under attack, an attempt to silence the truth forever. What will happen next? Will Clint and the janitor survive the onslaught? Or is this the end of their fight? And you, if you had this information, would you risk everything to expose the truth? The story isn't over yet. The screen went black, and chaos erupted behind the scenes. Security rushed in as alarms blared. Someone was trying to erase the evidence and silence Clint and the janitor forever. But in a hidden room, away from the chaos, Clint and the janitor exchanged a determined look. "They think fear will stop us," Clint said, voice low but fierce. "They don't know who they're messing with." Suddenly, a mysterious message popped up on Clint's phone. A cryptic warning from an unknown ally offering help to expose the entire conspiracy. The janitor's secret was bigger than anyone imagined, involving powerful elites willing to destroy anyone who dared to speak out. The stakes had never been higher. What if the hero you trust is actually part of the villain's game? What if the lines between friend and foe blur beyond recognition? And here's the biggest question. Who will survive this deadly game of secrets and lies? The fight isn't over, and the truth is more dangerous than ever. What would you do if you were caught in the middle of this storm?